welcome back. It's been a while since I made a movie. I'm really busy and we decided to take up a new hobby. We decided to embrace our inner redneck, take up the sport of guard tractor pulling. So I'm sitting on here, one that I picked up. A buddy of mine's been doing it for a lot of years. Neighbor across the street bought one. They both got V8s. My pockets ain't deep enough for a V8 yet, so got this John Deere 210. But it's only a John Deere 210 on the outside. Underneath, covered dead all the way. So we actually had our first pull, which I'll probably put a couple video clips up. I was 290 pounds light in my class, pulled 109 feet. Leader pulled 134. We also got a 1966 John Deere 110, which I'll take you out and show you here next. 1966 John Deere 110. My grandpa got it years ago. Dad bought it off of him. We mowed yard with it, and been sitting in a hedgerow shit last 10 years. Got that out, got that running. Put my kid on it. He's 400 pounds light for the class, and she didn't really do so hot, but still fun. So stick with me, and we'll talk about these things. So yeah, this claims it's a John Deere 210. I don't know what year. I don't know John Deere stuff. I'm not really a green tractor guy, but it's got a stock 12 horse Kohler in it. It pulls in the sport stock class, so you can have a 1-inch carb spacer, and then if you spin it more than 4,500, or spin it up to 4,500, you need a better pulley on the front. So I got those from Vogel. MSD plug wire. It's got an MSD coil. I put this diamond plate on it. It had diamond plate stickers and I thought it looked good, but it was all peeling off. I bought it off a guy whose wife used to pull it, and then she hurt her knee and she couldn't pull it anymore. So he built it, but it looks pretty cool. Pretty cool rig. Can run a 26-inch tire in the back. This only has a 23. There ain't enough clearance to run a 26, but yeah, 12 horse Kohler. I put a different seat on it, raised the seat up, and then when I put the spacer on, I had to cut this guy down. So that's John Deere green powder coat from Prismatic. Coming around the back, decided to name it Incognito. I had to remake the hitch because the guys that were hooking it, they didn't like the hitch. So I remade the hitch, got wheelie bars onto it, and I'm in the process right now of making weights for it so I can get it up to weight there. I'll show you I'll put the video of my first pull in there, and she went down the track on just on her back wheels there. But cutting some suitcase weights out of some 1/2-inch plate. It had the weight bracket on the front, so this is that's my suitcase weight design there. Bought a 80 amp Everlast plasma cutter, so that's what we're using. We're making it pay for itself. See, it's got the tri-ribs on the front, and I'll go ahead and put the clip of it pulling at the first pull. I'll put that clip in right now.
Okay folks, here's Taylor's first hook ever. Incognito. They're just rolling, I think. We did put air in them today. Good job, Taylor. First trip out.
That's a pull of 109.1, 109.1.
So this is the 66 John Deere 110 that my kid pulls. Like I said, my grandpa was a wheeler and dealer, and he wheeled and dealed something for it. Ended up with it, hell, probably 40 years ago. And my dad bought it off of him, and we cut grass with it for the longest time. And then it had a head gasket issue, which we fixed. And I actually put a clip of fixing the head gasket in right now. Well, what we have here is a wet shop dog. He's pretty happy about something. Anyways, what we have here is a 1966 John Deere 110. The old round fender onto it there. It's got an 8-horse Kohler in it. I did the carburetor. It's my grandpa's years ago, and then my dad bought it off from him, and we mowed yard with it, hell, for probably 10 years, and it's been probably sitting another 10. 3 of those it was in a shed, and the last bit it was out in hedgerow. But pulled it out, filed the points, got them sparky, and then it would run on starting fluid, and then I put a carb kit, genuine Kohler carb kit, in the carburetor there. And the reason we parked it is because it was just caking everything with oil. It was just pissing oil all down the sides. I've pressure washed it twice, and you can still see a bunch of the arrows down in there. So figured it was a head gasket, which pulled the head gasket off, and you can see where it was kind of leaking to the outside. And I bead blasted the head, and I missed a bunch, but I don't care. It's covered up anyways. But anyways, the bottom of this head was horrible. So I put it on a piece of glass with some 1000 grit, and that wasn't cutting it. So then I got the old 220 out, and this, you can see this line right here, that went all the way around the edge there. It was, you know, from the head gasket, but it went all the way around. So I just kept going and going and going, and you could put a 0025 feeler gauge underneath damn near everywhere there wasn't a bolt. So, you know, everywhere between the bolts, and then got it down to where it was 0015, and now I have it so you can't even fit the 0015 in there. So cleaned it all up. I'm gonna put it back on. I don't know how many hours are on this thing, probably 100 million, but I mean, the cylinder wall is nice. It's got a slight glaze to it, you know. If you were gonna re-ring it, you'd have to hone it, but everything's tight. Like, we contemplated throwing rings in it, but everything's tight. The valves look good. I got everything cleaned up. I just gotta screw those studs back in and throw the head gasket on and go from there. We'll get her fired up again. I built the exhaust pipe for it. I gotta adapt that guy to it just because of the cool factor, but built an MSD wire. I got a different coil. The terminal in that coil is actually burnt, but got a different coil to put on it. It had the hydraulic lift, which is right over there. Had all that stuff on it, and I guess they're hard on the heads and the head studs because it bolts right to it. It's just a lot of weight on the head studs from what everybody says, but that's where we're at with that. So I'm gonna put the head on it and see everybody trying the snap method there, and they say it's the easy way to go. So I'm gonna give it a shot, see if it actually works. So that was a pretty weak snap. Try it again. Get another weak snap. Try it again. Let's try this snap method again. Now maybe I can snap. Ready? That was a weak one. Ready? This hand. See if we can get it with this hand. There we go. That was a good one. One more time. Ready, and there we have it. If I could snap my fingers like a normal person, that would have been way easier, but it took a few tries. There she is, heads on, she's running. I still have all the guards and all that bullshit. I'm gonna pressure wash it again before I put the guards back on, you know, and tuck the fuel line up nice and go from there, but she's running. There a head gasket on that, and then we gotta change the drive belts just because they're 1,000 years old. I've got new front tires and I got new back tires. Those rims are too narrow, but I got wider rims. I'm gonna put some 23 1050 12s on it. Ag bar tires, chevrons for the European viewers. Got some straight rib tires for the front. I'm gonna powder coat or sandblast powder coat the wheels. John Deere yellow. We'll get her all fixed up so my kid can pull it. There she is. Yeah, as you can see in that last clip I just put in there, that was getting it running. Rebuilt the carburetor and filed the points, and it started right up. And then I did the head, you know, didn't shave the head, but I sanded that down, lap it, whatever the hell you want to call it. But did that, got it running, put a MSD plug wire on it. Had to put new rubber on the back, 23, 1050, 12s on the back, and then put these on the front. We were gonna go with tri-ribs, but the wide tri-ribs for a wide wheel is ridiculously expensive, so we didn't do that. But took the deck, and it had hydraulic lift and all that on it, so we took that all off. We saved it all. You could put it all back. Built some wheelie bars for it. They're adjustable up and down. I got the kill switch back there. We got to come up with some weight for this one. This one's like 400 pounds light for the class. We got a couple ideas. I'll put the clip of my kid pulling it in right now.
Colton's first ever hook was Great Grandpa Carnes' tractor. Here we go. Grandpa's smiling, I'll betcha. We're going slow, but we're going. We ain't giving up any. He's way underweight. Only weighs 686 pounds. With Colton on it. It can go up to 11. But we're doing it anyway. Good job, Colton. Good job, Colton. Good first trip out.
So yeah, as you can see in that last clip, she didn't do so hot. But I thrashed, and week-long thrash, and got it together. So we could take it. But put new belts on it, which they're a pain. But it's never going to be a competitive tractor. The 110s just aren't. They just ain't copacetic. You want a Cub Cadet, but this is what we got. So that's what we're using. So this is what I've been working on for weights on this bad boy. So it had a bar that went across, a round bar, so you could put like the round dumbbell weights on it. But those things are ridiculously expensive. So I took that off, and it wouldn't work with these here anyways, because your Cub Cadet footboards are a lot higher than the Deere one, so it wouldn't work. So I built this bar. You can kind of see it there. It's got the stops on it. I'll be able to fit 3 or 4 of my weights on either side. My weights weigh 7 pounds a piece, so I'll be able to put some in there. But also those holes right there are going to hold the front of this weight pan that I built. So this pan comes down, goes right underneath the transaxle, bolts to the 2 bolts on the side of the transaxle. I'll be able to just load the ever-loving crap out of that with lead or whatever I can find, and get her up as heavy as I can, right, like I say, right under the transaxle. And then if I need to, you know, add a little bit of weight, take some off the front, I can put some here. And then I'm also going to try and fab up a bracket where I could put a couple weights, you know, here on either side. That way, if I had to take some off the front, put some on the back, you know, depending on track conditions, I have that option. But this is the weight pan, so it'll sit like this. You can see those 3 holes right there will bolt right to that bar under the front there, and then these bolt onto the transaxle. on either side, and then I've got this cover right here, which will go on like so. And then I was going to use wing nuts, but I don't think I really need to, because you're not really going to be adjusting your weight in here so much. Going to kind of set it and forget it a little bit, but just use regular nuts and washers and everything. And then this will sit right under it, and I'll have about that much clearance under the tractor, but it really don't matter because we ain't off-roading or nothing. And then with the weight brackets there on the front, I just got a million more of them to cut out. But like I say, each one of those suitcase weights is 7 pounds. So, and we were 290 pounds light in our class, and the John Deere 110 was 390, 385 pounds light. So we're gonna put that great big guy underneath the seat. I have no idea what it weighs, but I can't pick it up by myself. So we'll put that under the seat, and we got a great big old JCB counterweight we will put on the front of it. And then we'll be able to swap some suitcase weights front to rear. And my dad, he bought one too, but his isn't here. His is at his house. His is a little more extreme than these two, but we'll shoot a movie on that one coming up. But yeah, got another pull coming up this weekend, so we'll shoot some footage there, and we'll get that cut into a video. But yeah, as always, guys, thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing, and yeah, thanks for watching.